Now we're going to move on to an SEC matchup, a team we talked about earlier. We got number 10 Texas A&M versus South Carolina at 7:30 p.m. Little night game at Williams-Brice. ESPN FPI has A&M favored to win 54%, and the spread is in A&M's favor as well by 2.5. A&M, they're going on a tear through the SEC this year. The lone undefeated team in the conference, like we mentioned earlier, after taking down LSU at Kyle Field on Saturday night. Their one loss is to Notre Dame in week 1, and now they're a top 10 team, so they're looking good. South Carolina, they're sitting at 4-3, but if we're really being honest, they should probably be 6-1 with wins against Bama and LSU. But alas, the refs, field goal kickers, and overthrows killed that dream. The last time the Aggies came to Columbia, they actually got beat 30-24. And if you tell me that Beamer doesn't have his team fired up right now after those losses to LSU, Ole Miss, and Bama, I'd think you were absolutely crazy. We've seen Beamer do this before. We talk about 2022 with Tennessee all the time. They won 63-39. 63-39 against the number 5 team in the country with Hendon Hooker. And yes, he injured his ACL, but that was late in the game. South Carolina had that game won. It was like every single drive that night resulted in a touchdown except for one that ended in a punt. Crazier things have happened. It's an underrated atmosphere. I'd say that it's probably the most underrated atmosphere in the SEC. I've been. It's loud, it's hectic, it's exciting. The fans are passionate. They've got this loud, annoying rooster that crows on third down. And if you're sitting under the speaker section, oh my gosh, it is awful. I mean,
Dead Cockroach Stadium.
Yes, dude. You listen. This is not where you'd want to be, and if I was A&M, this is the last place that I'd want to come with an undefeated conference streak on the line. Luckily for A&M, though, they have an extremely mobile quarterback named Marcel Reed. They also have an extremely sneaky fast back named Le'Veon Moss. I think this is actually a tougher game, and I think that A&M is going to have to pay attention and take South Carolina seriously because I know this team is fired up. I know they're going to want this win. I know that they've been looking for that big home win all season that they just haven't been able to grab yet. And I think it's going to be an interesting game. This is a tough one to pick. Unfortunately, Isaac, you got to go first. Who you got?
Well. Picking first in a tough game that could be in favor of the team that just beat mine. This is a great week. This game, I agree. South Carolina should be 6-1. They should have beat us. They should have beat Alabama. Had things just gone a little bit differently. Kickers and the quarterback, in the end zone, all the things, especially against Bama. They got the onside kick. Like, that was incredible. This will be a tough game. I do not envy Texas A&M trying to maintain that top spot in the SEC against South Carolina team that wants to, obviously, would love nothing more than to put a number in that second slot on their record. A&M's favored by 2.5, 54% on the FPI. This one's really tough. I am going to hope that South Carolina wins. But, man, it's really tough to pick against A&M after what I saw last weekend. I'm going to go with the Aggies. I can't use the other term that I like to use for them. I've got the boys from College Station to get the win in Columbia Saturday night, but it will be close. I like them to cover. It's a close game anyway, probably 3 points, maybe a touchdown, but it's a one-score game. I like the Aggies. I hope I'm wrong. I do not want Texas A&M to win this game, but unfortunately, I think they will.
Yeah, this one is really tough, especially after seeing how well Marcel Reed played. As soon as he comes in first play, they got an interception on defense, and they're at the 9-yard line. Immediately takes the quarterback run into the side for the touchdown, and then he just went off having an amazing night, ran all over the at LSU defense. However, this game is not at home. This game is on the road. We have not seen Marcel Reed yet. I don't think on the road. So this is going to be his first test on the road, and he's coming into an extremely tough, harsh environment in Columbia. Give me the Cox, man. I'm going to take South Carolina in this one. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think they pull away with this one by 1. Last time that Texas A&M came, they lost. I'm going to take South Carolina. I think that, like I said, Shane Beamer is going to have this team fired up, and I think that they're going to get this win on Saturday night. Give me Shane Beamer and the Cox in this one.
Can we take a second? There's two little sidebars here that I got to take a second for. First of all, if Texas A&M, is everybody in agreement that if Texas A&M wore those black uniforms with the script helmets, it would be the sickest thing ever? I think they were the nicest uniforms I've seen in a while. Second of all, the way people talk about this game right here, Texas A&M going into South Carolina, does it sound like Texas A&M really deserves to be that one undefeated team in the SEC? Isn't that kind of crazy to think that they are the lone standing undefeated SEC team, technically the number one SEC school right now, and yet everybody's talking about they're gonna lose to South Carolina. Meanwhile, LSU going to the South.
Who have they played? I mean, yeah, you could say LSU, but it was at home. But who have they played? They haven't played Bama.
Yeah.
They haven't played Texas. They haven't played Oklahoma. They haven't played Georgia. I mean, really, the only like top team in the SEC. I mean, they haven't even played Ole Miss. The only, I mean, it's like they all of a sudden got the SEC East schedule that Georgia's had the last 3 years, and they haven't even played Tennessee yet. Like I said, no Tennessee, no Oklahoma, no Alabama, no Georgia, no Texas. Like, they've got to play somebody eventually. I mean, sure, LSU was somebody, but, this is not the best LSU team that we've had in the last couple of years. So that's another thing. I think this Texas team is untested. Not to go back to my pick, because I know this is your pick, but you decided to bring up the sidebar. I don't really think they've played anybody yet. So, yeah, that's why I think that, I don't really think they deserve, because they've, played every SEC team and beaten them. However, what SEC team have they actually played that's worth their salt besides LSU?
Yeah, I mean, this is tough. South Carolina, they got a good defense, man. And, I would say good offense, but sellers keep selling. So when it comes down to it, Texas A&M, great offense as of right now. They got the momentum going in. But is Shane Beamer pissed off? Probably a little bit. It's at South Carolina. Honestly, I'm probably going to have to go with, this is tough. Drum roll, please. Who do I go with? Isaac? And then if Mason's right, then the gap gets a little larger. Or Mason and the gap just stays the same. You know what? I got to go A&M for the, they're just the ranked team. I can never choose a team that chants go Cox. That's all.